While in the community, many people were posting that the shopkeeper was a person of bad character. People were saying, isn't the shopkeeper too arrogant? Why does he keep saying things while selling his products? Gosh, a shopkeeper should just sell products. Why is he like that? I really wanted to stab him with a knife. But now that I've been beaten up, I can't even do that. Oh, I'm really upset. But on the other side, the shopkeeper was surprised to see Ta-san, who made it back there safely. The shopkeeper said, this man is still alive. Kang Ta-san said, so, you wish this man was dead? The shopkeeper said, no, it's not like that. Then Ta-san took out his catch, and there was big rat meat, which had 96% quality and was edible. Then he took out the big rat skin, which had a quality of 95%, and clothes made from this material would at least make you less cold. After taking out the items, Kang Ta-san said, since this is a shop, do you also receive or buy items? How much are these things worth? The shopkeeper said, you caught this, and he didn't try to escape. Kang Ta-san said, the point is I caught him. Why are you so surprised? The shopkeeper looked at the game and said, this is real. And this is the best quality. And it's not too messy or dirty. That means he caught it perfectly. And he's a very new youngster in the maze, right? The shopkeeper spoke to Ta-san. He said, all right, first, since you've agreed to my terms, I'll open the shop for you. Kang Ta-san said, what do you sell? The shopkeeper said, I sell almost everything, so just tell me what you need. Kang Ta-san said, if you say so. Do you perhaps have a tower shield? The shopkeeper asked, a tower shield, the big one? Kang Ta-san replied, yes, a big one that I can carry with both hands. The shopkeeper asked, why did you choose the shield out of all the items I have here? Kang Ta-san replied, to attack them all at once. The shopkeeper said, oh, that's the right answer. Then he opened his inventory and he said, golden door. And a shield came out of it. Then he said, what do you think of this? And the shield was a heavy tower shield, which could add offense strength +1 and defense strength +5. Then the shield had a description that it was quite hard, able to withstand many attacks. Upon seeing the shield, Kang Ta-san was surprised, and he said, this, more than enough. This quality can only be obtained from level 7 in easy mode. The shopkeeper said, it cost 500 gold. Kang Ta-san said, right now, the money I have is 243 gold, so I only have half right now. I guess I'll have to come back later. I only need to catch 7 more big rats. Then Ta-san immediately turned around and planned to return to that place. The shopkeeper asked, where are you going? Kang Ta-san said, I need more gold to buy it. The shopkeeper immediately threw the shield to Ta-san, and he said, don't worry about it. I'll give it to you for free. The system immediately said, you have obtained the heavy tower shield. After getting the shield for free, Ta-san was surprised. The shopkeeper said, you have 250 gold, right? I'm sure there are some items you can get with that. Wait a moment. Then the shopkeeper brought out some potions and items. Kang Ta-san was shocked to see that, and he said, what's going on? This is completely different from what I heard from Li Taidian. Kang Ta-san asked, wait. Why did you give me so many items? The shopkeeper said, you made a fuss when I was just being nice. Can I just be nice? Think of it as a simple investment. Kang Ta-san said, investment? The shopkeeper said, shut up. It's your choice now. This is an item you can buy. Kang Ta-san said, so he won't tell me the details. Most of them are liquid potions. Ta-san picked up one of the potions there, and it was a health point recovery liquid potion. It restored health point by 50%, and had a price of 200 gold. Kang Ta-san also said, some of these potions contain potions that can increase your offensive power. Some of these potions are also potions that can increase your speed and so on. These are the liquid potions needed to conquer the labyrinth. But it's not an item that I really need. I heard that it's hard to get a search potion in solo mode, and most potions are used on the higher floors instead of the lower floors. No need for potions for now. To buy this Kai potion could be a trap for me. I need to use my money to buy the items I need instead of this potion. There was also the crude bow item, which had a hit rate of +20%, but was difficult to use, and had a price of 200 gold. There was also the crude arrow item, which could add offensive power +1 shaped like an arrow, and had a price of 10 gold. Kang Ta-san said, I need a weapon that can attack from a long distance. With an arrow, I can make a difficult situation easier. Kang Ta-san asked the shopkeeper, how much will you give me for the big rat skin? The shopkeeper replied, with this quality, I should be able to give you 70 gold. Kang Ta-san said, "Then I'll sell it, and I'll buy a bow and arrow." The shopkeeper immediately smiled happily, and he gave the bow and arrow, saying, "Here you go." Kang Ta-san was suspicious of the smile he gave. He said, "What's wrong with this person? I'm sure something has changed." After handing over the bow and arrow, the shopkeeper said, "Oh, and did you know that it's impossible to recover your health in the maze?" Kang Ta-san said, "Yes, I know." The shopkeeper said, "In the first level, there is a fountain of life that can help you recover your health. You can use it as many times as you want, as long as you stay on the first level. I'll tell you its location. I'll mark it on the map. There's a crazy old man there, but I think he'll be fine." Kang Ta-san also recalled the words of Li Ta-yin. Earlier he said that Li Ta-yin also got information about the Spring of Life. But he showed a disdainful and reluctant attitude when he told Li Ta-yin, as if she would starve if she went there. Why did she change her attitude? Is it just a matter of different words? Li Ta-yin ran away and left without being able to catch that big rat. But I didn't run away, caught that big rat and came back. Could this be why the shopkeeper's attitude is different? Ta-san continued his hunt. Since he had gotten the shield, it made it easier for him to kill the big rat. After killing the monster, he said, "There are many things I don't know." After killing the monster, the system notified that your spirituality-raising skill has been activated. After getting the notification, Kang Ta-san said, "Like this skill, for example." He also got agility increased by 1 permanently. He also recalled the time when he managed to kill Big Rat for the first time. He said, "Earlier when I managed to catch Big Rat." He was surprised because he got so many notifications. He said, "What? I only caught a bunch of trash, but they gave me a lot of things. Not only basic skills, but there are also some skills that I might only get at level 20, 40 on easy mode." He got the basic skill, Sword Comprehension, which made him get a 1% chance that he would be able to use the sword more easily. Then he got a special active skill, Sight Secure Comprehension, 1% you will get clearer vision, in the most humanly possible way. Then he gains a special active skill, Calm Mind Comprehension, 12% provides an unwavering mentality and the power of wisdom when doing things. He also gained a special active skill, Detection Comprehension, 5% you will be able to understand many things. You will be able to detect things as far as the human eye can see. Kang Ta-san also said, "Wow, I can't believe I can know all this at the first level of solo mode. This is unbelievable." Then he got the skill back. He got the soul skill. Interception Increase, 100%, will give you the ability to see the world 1 level above. Your soul wins against the soul of a higher dimension than you, then you can steal power from the opponent. Kang Ta-san also recalled the moment when he got the skill. When he fought the rank S monster, the system said, "You are in a state of full concentration. Your body and mind will unite. Magic power has been infused into your soul. You have obtained the soul skill, Interception Increase." But because he was no longer in the maze, he could not obtain the skill, and the system informed him that you have failed to obtain the skill due to your current state, where you are outside the maze. Soul skill, Interception Increase is cancelled. Kang Ta-san also said, "It was when I was fighting with rank S. At that time, after I managed to defeat a monster with health points around 1,250,000, a system window appeared. I was too tired to see what was written. Are the sealed skills released now that I've returned to the labyrinth? Skills that remain the same even as time passed. When it's a problem that I can't solve immediately, I always choose to move forward directly. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going straight to my goal, to become stronger than anyone else." Kang Ta-san continued his journey, and he said, "So after I pass through this passage, I will be able to see the Spring of Life." Then suddenly a big rat monster appeared in front of him. Kang Ta-san said again, "Big rat. Well, it's only a matter of time before I meet a monster in a passage like this." Then 2 more big rat monsters appeared from behind him, and the system told him that you are now in a difficult situation. Kang Ta-san said, "Ambush." Kang Ta-san was thinking about how he could get out of such a situation. Kang Ta-san said, "A situation where humans are surrounded by 3 types of monsters. Big Rat's little brain knows they have the advantage in this situation. However, Kang Ta-san prepared his fighting position, and the system said, "Assess the state of confusion. Assess the state of terror." Then Ta-san quickly attacked the monster in front of him using his shield. The system said, "Assessment complete. You defended with extraordinary mental strength." Then his attack knocked the monster back, and he said, "I can't be shaken. I witnessed countless players meet their end due to various variables. Then the two monsters behind him began to charge at Ta-san, and the system informed him that you have obtained unshakable mind. All stats have increased. The two monsters were immediately attacked using a shield by Ta-san. And he said, with the current stats obtained through leveling up and successful assessment, I will be able to catch up with their reactions. Then the system said, you won against two big rats. Your level increased. Big Rat was overwhelmed by you. Big Rat's thinking has slowed down. Then the big rat in front of him looked so scared, and Ta-san said, come here. Then the monster immediately ran towards Ta-san, and he said, I appreciate you pointing at me frankly like that. Then Ta-san immediately hit the monster with his shield, and a few moments later he came to a room. The system told him that this place is a labyrinth shelter. Your enemies cannot enter this place on their own accord, and the quiet here will make you lazy. You are the first player to find the Spring of Life. First discovery bonus, intelligence permanently increased by 1. Magic point permanently increased by 2. Kang Ta-san immediately approached the Spring of Life, and he said monsters are in most places in the maze. The only exceptions are the shop in this place. It's kind of a safe zone. Then he took the water with both hands and drank the water. After that, a light came out of his body, and the system said, you are in your best condition. Kang Ta-san said, that's cool. I feel relieved as if I slept well. But mental fatigue is inevitable, so I have to rest for a while. He rested there, and the next day, Ta-san was opening the community screen, and he said, has it been about a day? Right now, there must be something posted in the community. Then there was a post from Kang Jun-hyuk of Solo Mode. He said, everyone, I can enter this maze, right? Then Najayan of Solo Mode replied, I don't think it's safe because people who enter don't answer. It drives me crazy. Then Kang Dong-jun from Normal Mode said, does anyone want to go through the first floor with me? I'm gathering information. Does anyone know what monster is on the first floor? Then Lee Sang from Solo Mode said, I'm tired, believe me. After reading some messages from the players, Kang Ta-san said, as expected, most of the articles were written by solo players. Players in other modes can meet each other, but Solo has no means of communication other than the community. Then suddenly Kang Ta-san smiled, and it turned out that he was looking at Lee Tae-yeon's name on the community screen. There he said, everyone, what should I do now? And continued with a crying emote. After reading the message, Kang Ta-san said, I never thought that Lee Tae-yeon, the strongest player who is always confident, would be so confused like this. Well, that's not it. Kang Ta-san also recalled where he had previously seen Lee Tae-yeon's status, and there he had a status of being scared. Kang Ta-san said, if you think about the status window, he could just be a coward who hid his true self until the end. Kang Ta-san continued his examination of the community screen, and he said, it has been a day since the maze opened. Full-scale player solo entry will begin 1 month from now, so there should still be many people alive at this time. Then he started typing on the community screen, and as he typed he said, Solo Mode has a reward system that is proportional to difficulty. Despite losing a lot of rewards, by defeating the boss through unfair methods, Lee Tae-yeon is still hailed as the strongest player. Then Kang Ta-san started posting something in the community, and everyone was immediately surprised after seeing the post. And that post contained information from Floor 1 in Solo Mode. After that, Kang Ta-san said, I wonder how it will be. It's hard to enter the maze without reliable information and guidance. Even if you believe it, it's hard to say how effective it is. Of the thousands who entered Solo Mode, only Lee Tae-yeon managed to survive. Alright, shall we start slowly now? Then Ta-san took out his sword, and he immediately cut the body part of the big rat, and the system told him that big rat meat with 86% quality, you can eat it if you want. After that, Kang Ta-san said, are you sure this can be eaten? Well, considering the purpose, it might be better. Then Ta-san started to eat the meat, and the system said, you are eating raw meat. Then after a while the system said, assessing abnormal conditions. And all of a sudden the system raised a red flag, and the system said, assessment failed. You have food poisoning, and Ta-san immediately bent over while feeling pain. After that he drank the tears of life, and he said, food poisoning is an abnormal condition. I've lost my physical strength for 2 days. If I don't continue to drink the healing potion or the health potion, I will die. This is more than just a nightmare for beginners. So those who have experienced it try their best to learn to cook it and adapt. Then after drinking the tears of life, Ta-san recovered, and the system said, you are in your best condition. Ta-san ate the meat again and he said, "But it's hard to get food from the labyrinth. There is emergency food in the store, but it's very expensive and limited. Finally, we have no choice but to eat the creatures in the maze. Since space is limited, there's no choice but to eat raw food. The worst thing is if you get food poisoning under these conditions." Then after repeating the same process for consecutive days, Kang Ta-san started to feel full. Then the system appeared and informed him that you have developed resistance to countless diseases. You have obtained a special passive skill, disease resistance. Kang Ta-san said bingo. And Ta-san immediately checked the skill, and the skill had a description of proficiency. 1% resistance to various diseases. In your current state, you are less likely to get sick from eating food. Then Kang Ta-san said, however, it will be different with this disease resistance. It is said that if you increase your proficiency with this skill, you're actually immune to food poisoning. Originally, it was a skill acquired through experience in contact with various diseases. But this skill can also be acquired in this way. After that, Ta-san immediately entered the pool of tears of life, and he said then, "Should we get the next skill?" Then she walked to a deeper place, and she said, "Ah, I hate this." And Ta-san immediately dived into the pool of water. And the system told him that you can't breathe in this state. Kang Ta-san said, "It hurts, but I have to endure it." I think someone once said that drowning is the most painful way to die. Then after a while, Ta-san got out of the pool, and he looked like he was out of breath in there. The system gave a warning you are not breathing to the brink of death. Then the system said you gained a special active skill, apnea. The system gave another warning you have recognized death. Then the system said you get a special passive skill, line of death. Ta-san returned to the ground and he still seemed to be having trouble catching his breath. And he said, "That's really something hard to do." And there was explained that active skill, apnea, will consume 1 magic point. And the skill had a description of proficiency. 1% allows you to hold your breath for a long time. Currently, it's only about half of what it normally is. Kang Ta-san also said, an active skill to increase the amount of breathing provides significant help in areas where the air itself is poisonous. Although it is rare for someone to obtain it by being submerged in water to the point of near death, I got the line of death skill at the same time. That's not a bad result. Ta-san then checked his line of death skill, and it had a description of proficiency. 54% allows you to sense the time to die. This is triggered at most moments of crisis. After reading the skill description, Ta-san was surprised, and he said, "Why is it 54% proficiency? If it's 54%, this is similar to the ability I have in the future, right? Does this mean that such skills can be inherited? Is the power imprinted on the mind rather than the body continuing? However, other skills, such as cold-bloodedness or insight, only have 1% proficiency." Ta-san also tried to think hard about it, but after that he said, "That's fine. Something incomprehensible often happens in the labyrinth. You won't be able to stand it if you keep thinking about every detail." Then Kang Ta-san took out his sword from his inventory and he said, "Now that there are more skills left for us to build, we can't stop here." After that, a post from the community appeared. There was a post from Kang Jun-hyuk of Solo Mode. He said, "Hey Hinam, is this really the right path?" Kang Ta-san said, "High risk, high return, don't you know this? Too many loopholes won't give us the results we want. Now is the time." Kang Jun-hyuk said, "No, that's not the case. Sorry, but I don't think I can do it." Kang Ta-san said, "Fine, whatever you say. You're the one who will regret it." Kang Jun-hyuk shouted, "But then how is this? How could I do that?" Then from the community screen came a post from Lee Ta-jun of Solo Mode. He said, "Jun-hyuk, I can understand your feelings. He is the only one who can do that, no one else can." After that, Kang Ta-san held his sword and he immediately focused his mind, and a blue aura came out of his body and the system said, "You have activated non-breathing." After that, Kang Ta-san said, "There is something called combination in skills. It is similar to when a certain skill meets certain conditions, and it motivates the evolution of a new skill." Then he did sword practice there, and while he was practicing he said, in the non-breathing state, "It's only to a certain extent. You can hold your breath while doing something." Then after he did a few moves there, Kang Ta-san started to take his breath back. The system told him that you managed to perform multiple actions in one breath. Special active skill, 1 breath attack, acquired. You have acquired more than 10 skills. You are now qualified enough to show them off to people. You have obtained a player skill. After receiving the notification, Kang Ta-san said, "Well, that's pretty good." Similar to how I was able to predict Big Rat's movements before I could catch him. Humans also have their own tempo that they perform before acting. And non-breathing attacks help the tempo to be faster and easier to change. It's a skill I often use before I exit the maze. Oh, there's a pop-up. Tae-san opened his stats screen, and after checking his stats, he said, "Wasn't Lee Tae-yeon's agility when he passed the first level 13? Is that right? And now I have 21. I'm more agile." Then Kang Ta-san continued his journey, and he left the place of the Spring of Life. Then Ta-san said, "Well, I guess I should be able to make a main skill now." Major skills are usually skills with a higher value than 10 skills combined together. Or it can also give me the ability to improve the parts that are lacking in statistics. For example, it can double or increase offensive power. In simple words, it can help identify hidden elements. From the ability to prevent attacks from happening using attack null fear, to the ability to stop time using time pause. Just by having one main skill, you can radiate power that dominates players who are at the same level as you. Then Ta-san also took out his shield from his inventory, and he continued saying, "Because of its capable ability," which is qualified. The terms and conditions for possessing it are also picky. For example, it says that full recon is only available after 2 or 3 evolutions of the spy skill. However, it was possible to create the main skill at the first level. Therefore, when else can I make it, if not now? Then the system gave a warning: Big Rat has appeared. Kang Ta-san continued saying, "Of course I have to get it." Then the monster immediately attacked Ta-san, and Big Rat immediately bit his leg. Kang Ta-san let the monster bite him. The system gave a warning: 4 damage to you. 3 damage to you. 4 damage to you. Kang Ta-san said, "Look how happy he was to bite me," thinking I wouldn't react. Then Ta-san checked his status and he said, "I'll let him have some more fun." The monster continued to deal damage to Ta-san, and the system warned, "You have entered the empty phase." Kang Ta-san said, "Just a little more." Then the system told him, "You are in danger of death." Then Ta-san immediately attacked the monster using his shield. After that, the system said, "Death Mastery increased by 3%. Tranquility Mastery increased by 2%. The monster attacked Ta-san again. The system gave a warning: "You are in danger of death." The monster jumped and attacked him with its claws. But Ta-san swiftly blocked the attack with his shield. The system informed her that you have successfully parried your opponent's attack. You obtained a special active skill, Block. After getting the notification, Kang Ta-san said, "It's a good skill to eliminate damage below a certain point, but that's not what I want." Then the monster attacked Ta-san again, but he was able to withstand the attack using his shield, and the system gave a warning: "You are in danger of death." Kang Ta-san said, "Skill, holding on." With this skill, I can negate lethal damage once and remove all damage for a period of time. The only person who benefits from this is me, no one else. Earlier, Lee Tae-yeon and Jung Jung-jun saw Kang Ta-san's fighting style, and they asked, "Whoa, Dong, how exactly did you learn the holding on skill?" Lee Tae-yeon said, "Yes, I'm curious too." "Why are you the only one who can have that skill?" Kang Ta-san replied, "Oh, this skill." Then Kang Ta-san explained that in this labyrinth there is a special way to obtain the skill, and it's simple. You can get it from someone, or you can also get it by being able to complete tasks that others fail to complete. And the last one, by performing an action that mimics the effect of the skill. For example, I obtained the non-breathing skill by holding my breath, and in that state, I try to use my sword, so I obtained the non-breathing attack skill. Therefore, if I want to acquire the holding on skill that eliminates lethal attacks, that's easy. You just need to constantly fend off lethal attacks. Then the monster lunged at Ta-san again, and the system gave a warning: "You are in danger of death." When the monster tried to attack him again, Ta-san immediately parried the attack using his shield, and the system said, "You have successfully parried an attack that might cause you to die. You have obtained a special active skill, holding on." After successfully obtaining the skill, Kang Ta-san immediately killed the monster. And while raising his hands high, he said, "Fear shouldn't be an excuse. Now you know that you have a skill that will always save your life." Then Ta-san also recalled the incident where he told about how he could get the holding on skill. Lee Tae-yeon and Jung Jung-jun just smiled and were surprised by Ta-san. Lee Tae-yeon said, "As expected. Ta-san is a crazy person. Jum Jum Jun also said Hyung, but isn't that dangerous? After recalling the incident, Kang Ta-san said, that kind of response is normal for me. But this place is a maze. If we don't risk our lives, we won't get anything. Then Ta-san returned to the safe zone again, going to the spring of life. Arriving there, he immediately tipped the water in the pool, and he immediately drank the water. After that, he immediately opened his status and he said, all right, I improved the mastery of calmness in death. Are there any other skills I can get? Then he also tried to recall what skills he could get at this time, and he said there must be others. There are 200 skills in total, so. But while he was thinking, suddenly there was an old man who came to that place too, and the old man said, so there are guests. Then the system told him that you have found the man who is searching for God. Kang Ta-san was surprised that someone could enter this place. The old man said good reaction. Kang Ta-san immediately took out his shield and he said, no monster can enter the spring of life. So this must be an NPC. Dan, I heard that all NPCs in solo mode are freaks. The old man also asked Ta-san, he said, are you an adventurer? Kang Ta-san said adventurer. The old man said, that's what we call people who explore the maze for the sole purpose of conquest. Are you one of them? Kang Ta-san replied, I think so. Kang Ta-san recalled the words of Li Taiyan. He had previously said, when I was resting at the spring of life, a strange old man approached me. I guess he was a knight serving the gods or something. Kang Ta-san forgot Li Taiyan's next words. Ta-san said, what did he say after that? I have to remember it quickly. While he was trying to recall Li Taiyan's words, the old man was quickly in front of him, and he looked like he wanted to attack Ta-san. The old man said, now, try to fend this off. The system gave a warning, Inshar has activated a non-lethal attack. Inshar attack. The old man's fist gave a strong wind and Kang Ta-san looked so tense to receive the attack. Then Ta-san could only stand still because he was shocked to see such a sudden attack. Seeing his attack in front of his eyes, the system said, your line of death has been triggered. Then Kang Ta-san said, I'm going to die. Then he immediately raised his shield and the old man's fist attack was successfully resisted by Ta-san. But the man's fist looked very extraordinary and Ta-san said, this is heavy. The old man was amazed that Ta-san could withstand his attack. After receiving such an attack, Ta-san was knocked back by the fist. And the system said, you have received the power of the mountain. Your strength is permanently increased by 1. You have channeled the power of the mountain. You gained a special active skill, overflow. Not stopping there, the old man continued his attack. He immediately took out his fist again, and he said, then what about this? Kang Ta-san said, I can't dodge this. Regardless of technique or skill, the difference in our strength is too significant. Then the old man's punch hit Ta-san in the face. Ta-san was immediately thrown against the wall, and the wall was destroyed by the old man's attack. The old man said, that's pretty impressive. I thought it would do 100,000 damage, but it only did 30,000. Then the system said, you took 35,211 damage. Judging a non-lethal attack, damage has been cancelled. After receiving such an attack, Ta-san said, breaking through the labyrinth wall in one attack. What kind of nonsense is this? And even the gate guardians in solo mode, are they monsters? The old man approached Ta-san and he said, I'm surprised by the way. Not only did you parry the attack with a brief moment, but you also released your shield immediately in order to reduce the damage. Kang Ta-san was annoyed at being beaten by the old man, and Ta-san said, I don't accept being beaten by you. The old man laughed and he said, that's right. I also didn't mean to kill someone I've never met before. That's why it was a non-lethal attack. Then the old man helped Ta-san to stand up. The old man held out his hand, and he continued saying, moreover, even if I sincerely attacked you, you have the ability to withstand it, so I don't think it's a problem. Kang Ta-san held the old man's hand and he said, have you seen it? The old man replied, the sight of you stepping into death to survive. That's amazing. That's actually a great skill. To let my attack get away with your bad stat. Kang Ta-san stood back up, and he cleaned his clothes from the dust there. And he also said, no matter how much he claims to be an NPC with ego, does he know this much about skills? So it's true that even Li Taiyan doesn't know about this. The old man also said, to be honest, I was worried that you were weak, but it seems like it was a pointless worry. You have an abundant passing score. Then he asked, what's your name, adventurer? To which Ta-san replied, I'm Kang Ta-san. The old man smiled and said, Ta-san, it's an honor to meet you. Be blinded by this immortality. I am the seeker of the gods. They call me Einchar. Ta-san also recalled the scene where Li Taeyeon met this old man. Previously, Li Taeyeon was running away from the big rat horde. There, Li Taeyeon said, they followed me relentlessly. Those damn rats. But now that I've come this far, it should be fine. Then without him realizing it, Einchar had entered the place. And when he heard a voice behind him, Li Taeyeon immediately turned his gaze and he asked who. But before he could finish his sentence, Einchar's fist was right in front of his face. But Einchar stopped his attack. And he said, you weak coward. Then Einchar looked down on him. And he left the place immediately. And after that there was an article saying that Li Taeyeon was looked down upon. And we never saw the article again. But contrary to what happened to Li Taeyeon, now Ta-san was getting a warm welcome from Einchar. Kang Ta-san said, can I ask you a question? Einchar replied, ask me anything. Kang Ta-san said, why did you suddenly attack me? Do you enjoy intimidating the weak? Einchar replied, no way. I may look like a holy knight, but there's no way I'm persecuting the weak. I'm just trying to evaluate the people who visit here. Kang Ta-san was surprised by such an answer, so he asked evaluation. Einchar said, it's about survival, whether they deserve to be in this place and whether they deserve to be recognized by me. No one is more annoying than those who fail to understand themselves. Therefore, you passed the evaluation. Good job. Kang Ta-san was still surprised by the old man, and he replied, ah yes, thank you. Then Kang Ta-san said, but it's okay to a certain extent. Recognition of eligibility. That's the standard of judgment. At least he won't antagonize me. Then Kang Ta-san asked Einchar, you said you are Einchar, right? Einchar replied, yes. That is the name given to me by my honorable father. Kang Ta-san said, you said you were looking for a god, right? May I ask what kind of god you were looking for? Then Kang Ta-san said that there are many gods in the labyrinth. Various gods test the players and give them gifts, but most players are not interested, because the gods only exist in solo mode. Fortunately, Li Taeyeon discovered how terrible and dirty the gods were. I was able to learn a lot of information about the gods because he talked to me often. Then Einchar replied, of course. The more people who know our gods, the better. The god I serve is the goddess of love, called Lebeninov. We'd all serve her, chanting her name at the beginning and end of the day. She is a very good goddess who used to bond with those in love. No goddess in my world was loved more than her. But unfortunately, my world was destroyed, and I am the only one who remembers her. After hearing such a story, Ta-san asked, did you come here to find her? To which Einchar replied, that's right. But I haven't even managed to understand a fraction of her goodness. Ta-san remembered the name of the god and said, Lebeninov. That's also the god I know. Thanks to Li Taeyeon, I know what floor he's on. If there's a problem, we can say he was destroyed when he found her. Li Taeyeon had previously shared that she found the Lebeninov goddess, but it had already been destroyed by someone, and after she posted in the community, she said, how can something like this happen in this world? I feel like throwing up. After thinking about the story, Kang Ta-san said, if Li Taeyeon, who has overcome so much hardship, said so, then it must be really terrible. Should I tell the truth? While Ta-san was thinking about that, Einchar spoke to Ta-san. He said, oh yes, Ta-san. Can I ask you a question? Kang Ta-san replied, what is it? Einchar then asked, do you have to rush to the labyrinth right now? Kang Ta-san replied, not really. Then Ta-san said, my goal is not to conquer the maze, but to become stronger with all the rewards I get. After hearing such an answer, Einchar was happy, and he said, that's great. Do you happen to have the intention to learn the Lebeninov skill from me? Kang Ta-san immediately replied, with pleasure. Einchar was surprised to see Ta-san answer, just like that. He said, no hesitation. I thought you would think about it a bit. Kang Ta-san said, there is no reason for me to refuse. Then, Kang Ta-san thought that she's very strong and I don't understand why the NPCs in the maze have this much power. There's no reason to refuse when someone great wants to teach you his skills. After that, Kang Ta-san said to Einchar, what is the fee? Einchar said, of course there is nothing like that. This is just a token of my apology. Kang Ta-san said, apology? Einchar said, as you said, I suddenly attacked you. Even if the purpose was to test, it is still unacceptable that I used violence against a newcomer like you. As a holy knight, that is something I must deeply regret. Kang Ta-san said, shouldn't you not have attacked me in the first place? Aincher said, no, that's a different matter. The reason why I apologize to you is that you are someone who deserves it. Otherwise, I would have just spat on you and left. After hearing such an answer, Ta-san thought that Aincher was a maniac. Aincher continued saying, just empty words of apology have no value. I also chose this because I thought you would need a valuable skill when you go on adventures. Are you okay with this? Kang Ta-san replied, of course. Kang Ta-san thought that getting a new skill with just one non-lethal attack is much easier and less risky than risking your life to get one skill. After hearing Ta-san's answer, Ainchar said, that's a relief. I was almost seen in action that could make me an enemy of the gods. Well, there's no reason to wait any longer. Let's get started. First, attack me with that poor shield now.